right, guys. Welcome to the Ready, Set, Blow podcast. Chase is moaning already because he's laying down on this episode because we got a very special episode for you guys. I don't even know what episode number it's going to be, Chase. Jesus Christ, dude. It's distracting.
Doesn't matter what episode, my friend.
I know. Chase is like a pig in shit right now.
Let's look at each other.
We're taping this on June 4th. We'll probably release it in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But we have a very special guest. We have the resident therapist back on the podcast, Anastasia Doulamis. Welcome back, lady.
Hi, thanks, guys.
Yeah, and we're actually on the therapist couch.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes, very literally on her couch.
Thank you for your hospitality, and you don't mind if I get comfortable. I like this.
Chase is just moaning.
I like this a lot.
Yeah, so I figured we'd do this just to check in with ourselves a little bit, Chase, and maybe do a little couples therapy. So for the listeners out there, just so you know, Chase is right now laid out completely prone on his back like a black Jabba the Hutt.
I am. I look like an extra in Mississippi Masawa.
What's that? What's Mississippi Masawa?
You never saw Mississippi Masawa with Denzel?
I saw Mississippi Burning.
Mississippi Masawa was with that Denzel Washington when it was a movie about him dating like an Indian girl, but there was a lot of conflict with that. But it was always like him walking along the lake.
Wow. Talk about a biracial relationship. A black dude and an Indian chick, huh?
Yeah.
Indian like Feather or Dot?
Indian like...
That's an old one.
That's an old one.
No, that's a street joke right there, guys.
Like, I don't know. They could have been Trinidadian posing. I don't know.
Well, back then you said the Indian...
Really tan.
They were dark, yeah. They were tan, yeah.
Very dark, folks. No, but do you want to get dates out of the way?
Yeah, let's get the dates out the way.
All right. Well, August 2nd, where will you be, Chase? The big date.
Yeah, August 2nd, Boston, Massachusetts. I'll be headlining Nick's Comedy Stop. You guys hopefully will come out and show us love because Randy also will be there as well.
That's right. I'll be back. I'll be back in town for that. I think I'm coming back in the 1st, and I think I'm also doing Osaka, the comedy party, Jim Papa's outfit and his boys.
Okay.
So I'll be doing that Thursday night, August 1st, and I'll be at Nick's Comedy Stop with you Friday night, August 2nd, bud.
Yeah, man. So, guys, get out there August 2nd, Friday, 8 p.m. Tickets are at nextcomedystop.com. Just go there, get tickets. I'm sure our Boston, New England listeners will show up and party with us.
Fucking better, because I'm going to be back in town. I'm assuming I'm going to be gone by then.
Are you going to be gone by then?
Yes, the plan is to be gone by July 6th. I just looked at the calendar. My family's driving down to Virginia on the 6th. I figure I'll hang out here to the 5th or 6th. Hang out with you fine folks for an extra week. I'll have to couch surf because my fucking place is closing on June 30th. And I don't want to leave my car on the fucking street with all my boxes of shit in it. The car that I don't even own yet. That I still have to get. But that's the plan. And then drive down, see my family for a week, and then drive out and be out in California somewhere around the 18th.
All right.
And then come back on the 2nd, because God knows I'll miss you folks too much. We'll hang out on the stage. We'll get fucked up. You know how we do it.
I also will be in Chelsea, too, this Saturday. I want to promote that.
What are you doing in Chelsea?
I'm about to tell you. Chelsea's up and coming, and there's a great festival that's happening from 7 o'clock to 10 p.m. in the Luther Place in downtown Chelsea. It's like an arts and craft music festival. They want to, I guess the city of Chelsea wants to start doing shows like that for the community.
Reviving.
Yeah, so I'm emceeing that event from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Focus down into this.
And
so
yeah,
well, you can move your head around. Just move the mic with you. I'm giving a performance lesson to Anastasia.
Yeah, I'm trying to plug this thing. You're talking about mic shit. Let me plug this thing. Jesus.
All right.
So come, guys. Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure we caught her lovely voice.
Yeah, I'm good. But that's all. That's all it takes right now.
Yeah, so we got those lined up. Speaking of arts and crafts, dude, I didn't know Anastasia's a crafter. Did you know this?
How am I a crafter?
I came in here, so all these books up here on her walls, dude, these big ass books, they're all like photos from back in the day, and she like meticulously puts them together.
I used to. I kind of stopped by 2012.
2000? Oh, when you just got what? When life fell apart?
No, that was 2014.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Oh,
End of 2014.
Was it 14?
Yeah, end of 14.
Okay. 5 years, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, the worst 5 years of my life.
Best 5 years of my life.
No, I'm joking. I was just saying that because I met you. So, Chase, were you a crafter as a kid? Were you, handy?
Yeah.
Were you good? Are you like a good artist and whatnot? Can you do arts and crafts too? Are you for real? Are you fucking with me?
No, I'll show you.
You can draw and shit?
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of stuff that that's how I started into the arts. I just drew.
No shit.
I drew I started doing as a kid. mirror cartoon characters, and I could draw them.
Oh, for real? You like you do cartoons and cartoonists? What'd you like? Woody Woodpecker? Who'd you do?
Oh, I did them all. I did like Woody Woodpecker. I did like Charlie Brown. I did Charlie Brown. That show Charlie Brown. I would draw those characters.
All right.
I did that. I did actually like superheroes, like Superman and Batman, and I would just like copy them. I would stay like 2-3 hours in my room and just like draw.
What was your favorite?
I think. Good question. I think Batman. Batman was the one.
Batman was number one for you?
Batman was the one because there was a lot of detailing there. Like I was a black and white artist, like not like
okay, you weren't doing color and whatnot.
like
color,
sketching. Okay. And I did all of that, and then I got into like then like crafting like woods. Like I always like build like I did instead of like taking like exploratory classes. Like we had like different options for exploratory classes. We can do like pool or the gym, or you can like do wood shop. Yeah, I would choose like wood shop. And you
go with woodwork.
Yeah.
I have no fucking discernible skill whatsoever when it comes to the arts. Is there like a mental fuck up because of that? Like, am I like is there? Can you be both? Like, because I have nothing. I'm analytical, but I have no creative bone in my body.
That's fine. It's like left brain, right brain.
But is that real? Is that bullshit? That sounds like some pop culture shit you hear at a bar. So I'm asking the pro here.
Yeah, no, that's not bullshit. I mean, you're not.
Talk straight to the mic. There
right here. You're not a creative person. That's fine. What's wrong with that?
Towards your face.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Towards your face. If you kind of sit on the lower part of your chin, it makes it easy.
So if you like this.
You sit it just makes. That's just how I remember.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, there you go. You fell for it. Take it off your face.
No.
Yeah, don't massage your face with the mic. It's weird. It's turning Chase on. He's getting wood.
I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine. I'm relaxed.
I know Chase is so excited to be doing the podcast on his back. Chase would do the podcast literally asleep if he could.
Yeah. I could do anything on my back.
But why do you have to be creative?
Well, I feel like it's a positive. I'm just curious, like if it really is truly split in two like that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like
comedy is a form of creation.
Yeah, but that's
maybe
that's why I'm so concerned that I'm not creative.
It is a creative.
Maybe that's why. Maybe because I want to do something creative and I'm not, so I'm sort of pushing uphill. Maybe that's why I'm concerned about it. But
are you concerned about your comedy writing?
Always. I mean, every comedian would be like, "What the fuck am I doing? I'm a fraud." You know, most of them. You know, like at least the ones that have any sort of self-reflection. You know, are always going to be trying to get better.
What do you think, Anastasia?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
I'm curious why you're in denial that you're creative if you're already in comedy and writing.
Because I'm not. Because I just bitch and it comes out funny and then I write it down. But that's not creative. That's me just picking apart a scenario to like mock every little part of it. You know, and I don't think that takes creativity. That's just me crushing down everything that I experience into little bits and how much I hate each little bit. Become, I sort of spin it in a funny way. I don't know that it's being creative.
It is, because, I mean, you said spinning in a funny way. I mean, that's your uniqueness. Because not everyone can do that.
I mean, I am very good with the use of the word fuck, but that's about it.
We all got to start from somewhere.
I know. But is there really like a divide, though? Or is there...
Oh, no, I mean, it's not a divide.
I'm sure you studied this at some point.
Yeah, it's not like a clear-cut divide.
Okay.
It's not, this like black and white fence thing, but some people are just more analytic and they have some creativity, and then some people are more creative and have some analytic skills. If you don't, then you would be retarded on both ends. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Okay. I see. Chase is just groaning.
No, I'm getting into the algorithm of what we're talking about. I don't even know if that word meets what we're talking about.
Chase, where'd you hear the word algorithm?
I don't know.
Let's start there for a second.
I saw it on First Take on ESPN.
Oh, really?
And then I just equated to everything that I'm talking about.
How many words
Makes you sound more professional.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes you sound much more professional.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. At least someone recognizes my...
How many, what percentage of words, this is a great question for both of you, what percentage of words do you think because I'll give you mine, that each of us uses but doesn't really know what it means?
Oh, at least 80%.
80?
Yeah, I just throw a word sometimes just because I'm like, that sounds good.
Really? 80?
Yeah.
That's high.
Not really 80, but
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I definitely have used my fair share of words just to make myself sound a lot smarter.
I'd say 10 to 15 for me. What about you, Chase?
Yeah, you're pretty good at knowing what you're talking about in terms of the vocabulary.
A wordsmith.
I would say I'm about probably, and I would say about I'm definitely over half for sure. I feel like half. You got to start out at half. Anytime you like question yourself, I feel like if you're anything you're lower, you're just
you're bullshitting.
You're kind of, I don't know. I feel like you got to start at least half. Because you got to leave room you got to play devil's advocate on yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? So,
fair enough.
But yeah, I'm definitely probably about 60-70% right in there.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
you gotta fake it till you make it.
Good point, though.
But the problem is for me, it's like I know why, because I don't work on it, and I don't read a lot to.
Well, no, you don't always sound stupid. I mean, like, it's like
you don't always sound stupid.
I mean, everybody.
I've been told I'm intelligent. I guess
everybody.
Can you be told that you're intelligent? Let me. Okay, this is a good way. This is good. So I need to start learning how to phrase questions the right way. Because Randy is really good at understanding what I'm trying to say, but he knows how to like say the right words to put the vocabulary against it.
Articulate what you want to say.
Right. Is there different forms of like intelligency?
Oh yeah.
Right. So can I be a person that's defined intelligent, but I don't have a high vocabulary?
Yeah.
I think so.
I've seen some, when I used to work at the high schools in Dorchester, there were some kids that I'm like, wow, they're dumb as rocks, but look at them put together this like, like the way that their brain can work in fixing things, or the way their brain can work in, I don't know, like electrical work or plumbing work. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I also think like
but they're also the same people that are like putting themselves in danger and couldn't put like 2 and 2 together sometimes.
Sure,
so.
I mean, there's that, and there's obviously forms of autism where people still have abilities. But I think like when it comes to using words, I feel like people know how to use a word, but have a tough time defining it, because that happens to me all the time.
I also think,
you know what I'm saying? Like Chase, you know how to use a word. Like you'd be like, degenerate gambler. You'll use that phrase, or I was being facetious. But you can't.
That's my
what I'm saying. I've heard you use that, being facetious. Yeah. You use it in the right context every time. Mm-hmm. But if I said define facetious, you'd be like, I don't know. But you know but you intrinsically know what it means. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of that going on.
Well, I think a lot of it is like after I saw Rain Man.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he kind of like helped me like start saying like
old Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah,
Did you identify with him?
There's some parts of me that me and him we're the same. I feel like no, we're not. But I don't know. I just say words,
white,
man.
Old and short.
I know how to put. I'm a picture person. I feel like, you know what I mean. My mind operates off like pictures.
All right.
So like, I will just mix and match pictures and put things together based on like energy.
You're a visual learner.
My visual things. So it's like I don't necessarily I'm not very analytical at all. You know what I mean? I do when it comes to business, I am, but not like just like life. I don't apply analytics to like my life.
In what way?
So if I'm like just talking about like let's say I'm talking about like a subject about like dating, like girls and guys, like I won't use any like I won't use any like type of evidence or data to help me.
All right, you're not a stats guy.
I'm not a stats person. I'll just say what's on my mind based on like what I'm feeling.
You operate like a woman.
Yeah, you What do you say?
He's like, so you operate like a woman.
You don't deal in fact. You deal in emotion.
I deal with like I just kind of like I feel from my experience, from what I've seen, like
10 minutes in already trashed women.
I was gonna say, well, with Brady's way is not exactly the most efficient way either. So
no, my way is fucking horrible. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
That's well documented on the podcast.
But it's very interesting because like you're a person that comes from like data, you like in like stats and stuff, right? Because you're like you use that to help your conclusions with people.
I use more. It's called like emotional communication. So you kind of use your own. It's whatever's going on in the room, like the dynamic, and then your own emotion into helping with using your own emotion into guiding what's going on with a patient or what's going on with a person.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you guys would use some basis of like, like data from like history is like of people doing this, and then you use that as like a thing.
Our data is a little bit different because it's a lot of case studies. So you have a patient and you.
Right.
What was that? You have a patient and you study them a lot longer and you pick up data from that. I'm trying to think of like a good example.
Like, I guess,
so
you specifically just kind of like work with what groups of type of people in what areas? Like,
well, right now?
Yeah.
So right now, I mean, I work at a methadone clinic, so I work with substance use.
So, okay.
And then in my private practice, I work with, I mean, anyone who needs help.
Well, give me your card after that.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, right? So if let's say a person who's on meth.
Methadone. Meth is a drug.
Method
is an illegal drug.
Right.
Methadone's legal.
Methadone's legal.
With them, and also there is some data of like what to expect with substance use patients or addicts. But also, so say if a patient comes to my office to talk about something, and I leave feeling, and they leave, and I feel really anxious, and I wasn't feeling anxious before, that's something about them. That's not, a good therapist will figure out what's their feelings and what's the patient's feelings. That way they can decipher what's the patient's stuff and what's their own stuff. Because also, you don't want vice versa to happen. You don't want to have a therapist like transfer.
Projecting on you kind of a thing?
Project their own anxiety onto the patient, saying, oh, this patient's anxious, but it's really their own anxiety. So that's what the training comes in. You kind of get trained. I had some patients that every time they come in, I always want to fall asleep. And finally I realized it's like, oh, well, they're depressed. That's why. A depressed person is going to make you want to fall asleep. A bully is going to make you very confused. That's how they, or they make you like rethink everything. A bully is going to make you think, all right, well, maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. That's also the tendency you get with narcissists or sociopaths. They make you like re-question yourself all the time.
I see.
So you use yourself as a tool too.
When you say narcissistic people making question yourself, is it why? What is it that the person is questioning for them to like?
Is it like a manipulation kind of thing?
Yeah, like you're not doing enough. You're not good. The person, when the narcissist leaves a room, the person's gonna left feeling like, oh, I should do this better. I should, whatever the situation is. Oh, maybe they are right. Maybe I didn't, go all the way with this, or maybe I wasn't thorough enough with this. They're gonna try to make you question yourself and confuse you.
Is that like a bigger thing these days with social media and whatnot? Are you seeing a lot of your, like at least your private patients being like exhibiting more narcissistic personality traits?
No, much more anxiety. There's actually been a lot of studies showing that anxieties have skyrocketed since social media.
Well, I mean, I've had anxiety since well before, but I can see how that'd be the case. It's like, I guess it's like the whole fear of missing out bullshit. FOMO.
But it's interesting because that stems from not you being a narcissist. I don't believe, because you're not a narcissistic person by any means.
No, I'm actually. I don't have a very.
You love to hear yourself speak. Who are you kidding?
Well, I mean, I like my opinions better than others.
Yes.
or at least I feel like mine should be heard. But I don't necessarily. I don't think highly of myself. I think like I'm always focused on what I need work. I tend to focus on things that I need to work on, not things that are going well in my life.
Or not what other people need to work on themselves. A narcissist will be like, you need to be changing this. They'll look at everyone else in the room and see what they need to change.
No. I always pick myself apart. But I could see how social media drives that anxiety. I was just curious, like, is it sort of now a platform for narcissists to sort of to puff their chest? Like, I wonder if we're seeing more of them because it's easier for them to get their voice out there with these fucking things, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, there is. It's almost it is a catalyst in some ways, but I think it's because with social media you can never escape things. So I think it does create more anxiety. Before social media, you could break up with someone and just break up with them. Yeah, you don't have to. That temptation of visiting their page all the time or seeing who they're dating or, trying to like run into them by seeing where they hang out on social media. Like it doesn't create a good break anymore. It's easier to hide if you want to like not be like you can just not be around where they hang out. Yeah. Or you can just not know if they're with someone. You can just not know how they're doing. Right. You can spy on their life from the comfort of your own home. Whereas back in the day, you used to have to drive by their apartment 500 fucking times to see if their car was out front. Yeah. Who was going in and out. Well, that's the thing. It really tests how much you miss them if you have to actually leave your apartment versus if you're just bored at home and you can scroll through. That's interesting. That's how you miss them, huh? That's interesting. Wow. Yeah, you actually had to drive to actually like stalk somebody. How fucking creepy is that, dude? No, I think that's actually great.
because you actually earned your own psycho. Like you earned being a psycho.
I get what you're saying. It's kind of like
it's like much more effort.
Yeah, it's kind of like you want to give a racist a megaphone so you know he's a racist. You want to give a crazy person you want to have someone drive out to your place because then you know they're absolutely fucking nuts, as opposed to being lazy and let me just see what's going on with so and so.
Right.
Yeah. So if they're driving by, you should be scared. I wonder if drive-by stalkings have gone down because of social media. So you could just stalk someone from fucking the internet.
Character prevails. I kind of feel like it's probably the same because at some point,
crazy activities is crazy activity.
At some point, if someone really wants to are you talking about really stalk someone or just everyday stalk, social media stalk?
Everyday stalk, tone down the average 1,000 phone calls.
The people who would do that would always do that.
Yeah,
because they're always going to want more. They're going to want the next step. They're not going to just be comfortable with whatever they have for social media.
Have you ever stalked anybody? Be honest.
On social media? Well, yeah, we all have.
Or in life.
Not in life.
Really?
On social media, yeah. Everyone gets bored on a Monday night. You're like, I wonder what this person's up to.
All right. Chase?
Well, how should I answer this?
Honestly?
Without incriminating myself.
Next question, please.
That's how you answer. He pleads the fifth.
I like to know what I'm getting myself into.
All right.
So I do like to do my research and my due diligence to know who and what I am dealing with. So
ever hired a private investigator?
No, I'm the person. I can find.
He's like, I'm that person people hire.
He'll get it.
I can find out anything. I'm very good at that. I'm investigating stuff. I'll know. I'm very good at knowing. I'm very good at what I do. So if you want, so I can find out pretty much whatever I want to find out. I will find out.
Yep.
Yeah, and because I know. Sometimes I'll be honest with you, Anastasia. I really feel like if I wasn't a comedian, I could work in the CIA.
Why are you laughing? Maybe you could.
Well, because I feel like that would require him to do things that he doesn't like to do.
Well, there's a part of me that I can detach myself from normal thinking, and I can just
normal thinking. I can just make myself crazy.
I can find. I don't know, but
I do that.
I don't know if that puts me in I don't know.
I don't know that I've ever stalked a woman I dated, but I certainly don't.
No, I never.
Have you ever online stalked a woman that you dated?
No. So I've had Instagram for 3 years. I've been really using it for 2. Really getting into not getting into it, but actually trying to give a shit about it.
He's on it all the time now.
Now, yeah, because I'm trying to fucking build a stupid career, and that's what it takes. But I'm I don't unfollow the girls that I've dated, so they'll pop up my feed. I'm like, oh, okay, that's dope, and just kind of keep rolling. And maybe they'll block me, and I wouldn't notice it, obviously, because they wouldn't appear on my feed anymore. But I've obviously never purposely gone out to what's she up to, and who's that she's hanging out with, and click through her for click through whatever guy she's with. I don't bother with that.
How about when you first meet someone, you don't see what their life's about?
No, that is something I will do, and not go crazy about it, but you do have to get their Instagram account so you can at least verify that whatever the fuck is on their stupid dating app is legit with what their real life is, and and that's easy. Nowadays, you have 2 names and you can see someone basically in their underwear, because women post shit on the internet like that. Or a lot of times, how easy it is if a woman gives her name and her work and her place of business. It's some apps don't give you a last name. They give you if a woman posts or a man posts his first name and his place of business, and you Google those 2 things, you could easily get that person's last name from fucking their LinkedIn account, and then put that into Instagram and see what's going on.
So you've definitely done this before. What it sounds like.
Fuck yeah, because once one time shame on me. First time you get me, shame on me. Second time it's my fault. Women will just like men lie about their height. Women lie about their weight, or about what they really look like. Or what they really look like when they Photoshop the shit.
Well, you know what's amazing with all this technology?
That's out there.
Have you guys ever seen the show? I still watch the show Catfish on MTV.
I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's amazing because even with today's technology, even with everyone knowing how to cyber stalk someone, you still get these people that are like, I've talked to this person online for 2 years. They're the love of my life. Mm-hmm. For some reason, their phone never works. We can never FaceTime. I don't know why. And then so finally they have to go on the show and be like, oh, you've been talking to a man this whole time. Sure. Or it's something so crazy. And I'm like, but it happens enough that they're still making these episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I have a catfishing story.
Ooh.
Who'd you catfish?
So back in the days in college, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this.
Oh, this is well before catfishing.
Yeah,
it's original catfish. OG catfish.
This is you guys ever heard of a thing called mihente.com?
My God.
It was.
Well, you're going to tell us now, aren't you, bud?
So mihente.com was kind of like the equivalent of like a blackplanet.com. It was like Tinder, like and stuff way before like Tinder. So,
but for black and brown people.
So blackplanet.com was like a place where like black people would go to meet people.
Black folks.
That was like during like 2000. This was like 2001. And then Mihente was for Latino people.
All right.
So, and you just create a page. It was like MySpace, like before them. Like that was what was creating this, right? So Mihente was like all like Latin women in your area, right? So I created a page, and this is when you don't know this. This is when my nickname was like Primo, and I thought I was like Dominican.
Yeah.
So I was like starting like I always had a thing for Latin women, right? So my
and Asian and white and black.
So vagina. That's what you had to think for.
Right. So like my name would be like Abel on the black page. It would be like Primo on the Latin page.
So you had a few identities. All right.
Yeah,
keep
potatoes,
going.
potatoes. You know what I'm saying? So, but my friends, they were on it too. But this is what happened. So my friends, they put a joke on me. They created this woman a profile.
Wow.
And for 2 months was going back and forth with me with this, and I thought I was like about to with this girl.
Great is that?
And I was in college. I was a freshman in college, and I was like ripped. I was sexy as shit. Anastasia. It doesn't look now, but I was just pretend like.
That was 20 years ago.
I looked really good. And I finally was like, okay, I want to meet you. Right? They said that she was from Lynn. They played all the fucking stereotypes. Like.
Did you send her a dick pic?
I didn't send no dick pics.
Oh,
I never sent dick
good.
pics. I never sent dick pics. Only till recently. But
Only if they ask.
yeah. So I was like, hey, I want to meet you. And they were like, okay, I'll come. And I told her I was in college. I told her what college I went to. She's like, okay, I'll come and visit you at your college. I was like, oh shit, this is great.
She wants the biz.
She was hot. They put a dope picture. They put fake pictures, dude. It was like
so.
Whose pictures they
2019 version. It's like to me. Why don't you just Google search that image to see where else in Google that image?
Because I was
from.
not.
But see, that was 2019.
Yeah.
Back then, it's different.
Yeah, this is 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the internet just created like 6 years
just
prior.
new.
Yeah, they didn't have Google really back then.
Right. So
The trolling wasn't a normal thing.
Yeah.
People didn't spend a lot of time doing this like they do now.
yeah. So they were like, we'll meet you. She said, well, I'll meet you. And she was like, okay, I'm at the. She's like, I'll meet you. Blah, blah, blah. And then they made a fake number, right?
Wow, they put effort into this.
That's what I'm saying. They went off.
It was my
They
friend.
went off
It was
on
my
you.
friend Joe and my friend Damien.
Shout out Joe and Damien. They got him good, son.
And Damien's
That dude.
Yeah. So. So for like they played it good. Like for like 15 minutes, they're texting me back and forth, pretending like it's her, saying like, "Oh, I walked by the cafeteria. I'm sorry. Like I'm on the second floor now, right?" But Damien lived on the second floor. So I'm like, what? I'm like, shit. I'm like, oh, I don't want. I was like, oh, I'm like, cool. I'm about to introduce her to Damien. Like that was my mind.
She's gonna be She's gonna.
Fucking like They're like, oh yeah, just like, and then as soon as I got to the second floor. They were already had their door open and they just looked out the door and started laughing at me.
Clowning you, son.
I was like, so I never hated them so much. Like I never hated up until that point because I was like, oh, I'm about to meet this hot Latina chick. Like, and they
built up for 2 months. Good for them.
Yeah, but. So back to your point, like back then, before this whole social media stuff, you actually had to feel like real devastation. Like you had to like kind of go through that. Like, and that's just what it was. Now it's just like, I don't know what it is now. Like through social media. Now it's just like, you just have to, people don't feel as much now. Now it's more like what's perpetuated before. Like now I feel like they tell you what you should feel before you actually feel it. Like
with social media?
It's like, oh, I'm mad. I don't know. It's just weird. Like it's just not. I don't feel like people like are really, really feeling like.
I think emotions are much more numb nowadays. People are afraid to feel.
Well, I feel like they're showing you one thing on social media and Instagram and all these places, but their real life is something entirely not that. Like they don't show you. It's like, oh, I'm on vacation here. Look at us having oysters. And then it's like, well, what about the argument you had the night before? What about your shitty day job? What about, it's a very curated view into people's lives.
I kind of
like my Instagram shows me fucking off with my friends and doing shows, and that's it. 'Cause I don't want to divulge my personal life to a certain degree, But it's a more of a promotional thing. But some people, will only show like doctors' photos of themselves,
Oh, yeah.
at the club or on the beach. It's like, all right,
But I
that's
kind of
really
want to create
specific.
like an anti-Instagram account where I just show like all the shitty things that happen in my day. Like, here's me next to my flat tire. Wouldn't people want to be more interested in seeing that person's Instagram account?
I wonder if there's. I would imagine there's a couple of anti-social accounts like that.
Yeah,
there,
all like the bad things happen in your day. Like, here's me dropping my coffee on the floor.
Well, I wanted to start a page that had of me just taking photographs of amateur Instagram models taking photographs of themselves.
Oh, just go to the Esplanade and you'll see it's amazing.
Any mural, there's just a fucking line now. I'm gonna go up to murals and just put a velvet rope and act like you gotta fucking pay admission ticket. And I fucking out west, man. They got fucking a shitload of them in the fucking West Hollywood. Every wall's painted like a fucking mural. Yeah. I'm just gonna put a rope and see if I start charging fools, because I bet you could.
It's just interesting how when I feel like if you have your own, if you are lucky enough to find your own identity, you know what I mean, like your own personality and your own your own way. I think people now really live like vicariously through other people.
Oh yeah, I think people get social media and they're like, okay, I need to have that photo. And they do whatever it takes to have that photo.
Oh, they copy the image, basically.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think it's like that now, Anastasia?
Why do I think? Say that question
like
again.
Why do you think there's so many people now that just like are just so interested in like, what's the connection of why people so interested in what other people are doing?
Competition, insecurity. Am I doing enough? Am I living enough?
How do you combat that?
I think Instagram should really deactivate itself for like a month just to see what the human race would do.
I mean, we got a lot more free time to fuck off, but...
Because think about how many people's like careers would go down if Instagram all of a sudden was deactivated a little bit.
That's true, yeah.
People wouldn't know what to like. Even, this sounds so stupid, but even as a girl, I could be like, wow, now I can finally wear the same outfit out on a Friday and Saturday night because... no one's gonna post this on social media.
Wow, that's just, I didn't
How shallow is that?
Wow.
Down to like the outfit, I'm like, oh, good. Now I can finally wear that outfit twice in a weekend. That way, no one can see
you
it.
can wear any outfit, you'll be fine.
Thanks. Jeez.
You'll be fine.
But I felt one thing they're going to do is they might test, or they are testing, not letting other people see how many likes your photo got. Only you can see how many likes your photo got.
Ooh, that'd be good too.
So it's like so you lose that bragging right of like, oh, this photo's got 10,000 likes. Like,
yeah.
Oh, only you know that. No one else knows that. So I wonder how that's going to impact people. I feel like people give out less likes.
Well, I think from in the I'd be interested. I don't.
Or maybe more likes.
Or people would also probably put up whatever photo because they're not worried about how many likes there is underneath the photo. Because some people are like, oh, this only got 53 likes, I'm taking it down.
That's fucking. I think that's Bush League. Taking down things like the only things I deleted are things are just like I bought like the last 20 photos I'll just delete because they're old or whatever. But like deleting shit because it's not that well liked. It's like, well, if you should have posted it because you enjoyed posting it, not because
for others.
But it's also, I think it's interesting to see.
Yeah, but let's be honest with ourselves. We're not necessarily doing that 100%.
It's almost also like fashion, right? So like women, there's a phrase like women dress for other women.
Oh yeah, duh.
So the same with Instagram, like
of course,
your
dude.
Instagram, most Instagrams aren't for themselves; they're for other people.
Right.
I mean, so letting people know I'm still trying to be a comedian.
But even for like, all these like Instagram models, right? It's not for themselves. That's for other people.
Well, that's why I think it's hilarious when guys take like hot photos of their girlfriends, like so you can whore her to other people on the internet. Like you should at least get a fucking fee for that photo. But I mean, I just lost it. I was gonna ask you.
Well, I guess I think the question is like I don't think none of like what social media. There's good parts of social media obviously, and there's bad parts of social media, right? But my thing is like when it comes to an individual, when should they know like how to reel it back? You know what I mean? Like where does the self-awareness come where it's like, all right, I'm doing too much. Like where what type of tools like people can use to be like, all right,
Self-awareness? That's a hard one.
That's a hard one to teach. The hardest one to teach.
The hardest one to teach.
That's
We talk about it on here every fucking week,
Yeah,
dude.
because some people aren't that self-aware, and they actually get a lot of they've attached part of themselves to it, which is a scary part. So for them to want to detach from social media, they'd feel like they're detaching part of themselves.
is it lack of self-awareness attached to lack of identity, self-identity?
Yeah, they probably get some sort of identity through others and through.
Yeah.
Also, it's like reinforcement, right? It's like, okay, I'm out here. Let me post a picture of me and my friends out at this bar. If you get enough likes, it's like, okay, this place was cool. Like, this was good. This was,
Oh, that's yeah. But that's what I was going to ask you about. Like, but I think it's interesting, or at least comment on. Like, I think it's interesting that people, like you said, do that. They do want to like the validation of, oh, what I'm doing is fun because everyone liked it, so I must be doing something good, or it must be something beneficial or worth my while. But I think it's interesting to look at because it's interesting to see which of your followers, because my following isn't big at all, and like, but obviously if you have 1 million followers, it's impossible to gauge, any specific group of followers. But like, it's interesting to see how like, oh, this photo got 200 likes, and it's like just like you on a beach with two friends smiling or some stupid shit, but then like you post something that is actually interesting to you that you found amusing or that you found interesting. And it gets like 50 likes, and you're like, all right, who liked that, and who didn't like that? And like I feel like the people who didn't are sort of the fair weather fans. That's like, oh, that don't really find what you find interesting or amusing or worthwhile that interesting. They just liked it because everyone else was liking your photo. It's like what the fuck is that?
It's also interesting as like a female. It's also interesting to see which men like which photos.
Oh, that's
a good way to like.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's a good way to like kind of like
That's why hot tip, fellas, hot tip. If you're gonna slide in a girl's DMs and you're doing the trade likes fucking thing, flirting beforehand, don't like any scandalous photos. Pick ones of her like smiling with her friends or something innocuous that makes you seem a little bit different. Go to the photo with the least likes and like that one. You'll stand out.
Brandon,
You'll stand out.
My friend,
fucking hot tip right there.
My friend taught me that a long time ago.
There you go.
My friend John was like, dude, if you want to have a girl to like be interested in you, right? Do not like the most.
Scandalous.
Her with her asshole spread open or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Well,
who are you following?
That's
a little different.
He's a little different. Yeah, he's got many memberships for other things.
Paid for.
Yeah. But he was like, like her, with her family. Picture of her with like her family, and like her with picture with her dog.
Yeah,
like
she paints like a painting she painted. If she likes those things,
because not only that, because that if she actually is interested in you or she's paying attention to it, she'll be like, oh, this guy's actually,
he's taking an extra step.
He's taking an extra step, and he's also not like a creep. He's actually interested in the real things I like.
Well, yeah, versus just being in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
But is this interesting? Because sometimes females... Hold on, let me finish. I also can see when females are posting up pictures of them, like, grabbing like a random baby or a kid and then posting that because they want to kind of project this message out, like, look, I'm good with kids. Oh my god.
What guy wants a girl with a kid?
Women think very.
Women don't think about it right. The girls are in a thirst trap and are doing it right.
There are women out there who do want to settle down and they're trying to like post pictures with random kids.
Actually,
that's not going to get a guy excited. It's going to get him to think that you sure got kids. I'm not fucking with her.
Is this true? I heard this the other day. So actually, the source that it came from, I kind of questioned it, but this is what was said.
All right, some other comic idiots.
Yeah. Here we go. No. I know, I'm joking. The thing is, she goes, she's like, most men are more likely to be with women who have kids than the other way around. And I said, I've always thought it wasn't, because I always thought women would be more inclined, if they really loved a man, that they would actually take on the other guys, like not to say baggage, but like because I think I was telling her, like, because I think women are more connected emotionally. So I would be like, if a woman really likes a man, she would put up with like what that he has.
Yeah. I don't know any hard facts on that, but there is a big group of men out there who have a savior complex. Who just want to rescue. They want to be the rescue. They want to rescue. They want to be the hero. So, I mean, I probably
Is
think
that a
it's
savior complex? Or actually, you know what? And let me just, and also before
Oh,
you
man being a man? Yeah, savior complex.
they want to be the superhero.
Fucking hero.
Let me
Full
ask.
circle back
I
to the
do not
beginning
want
of
to be a
the
hero. I'm not a hero.
Let me. Okay, this is actually good. Let me ask you this. Another person told me this, and we were talking about like the Me Too thing and like feminists and stuff like that. And she made an interesting point, and I don't know if there's any truth to this, but she goes, now with women now, especially now in today's age, with the Me Too movement and women being like, you know, being more outspoken and wanting to come together and all this stuff, right? She goes, she's like, in her eyes, she's like, men, you know, now, they don't feel as if they're needed anymore than before in history times. Because before, like, men actually came home and they felt like they were needed. Women actually needed men to, like, you know, make money,
Play the male role.
the male role. And now she, in her eyes, she's saying now that role is actually starting to become more extinct because women necessarily don't need that men to supplement that.
Yeah,
anymore.
and I'm not saying like this is why all men cheat, and I'm not saying why this even justifies cheating, but I have heard quite a few times sometimes men do step out of the relationship because they don't feel needed anymore from their spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love that women don't.
You know what I'm saying, Randy?
Yeah, no, I do. Which I love that women are like, that's bullshit. But then for centuries, women have been saying, well, if I slept around, it's because you were meeting my needs. You know. It is a two-way street because a lot of women won't just say, "Oh, I felt like sleeping around because I was horny and you know I wasn't into you." It's always like, "Oh, you know, I only did it because my needs weren't being met." Like that's their excuse a lot of times. But men can't use that excuse. It's weird.
As a woman, I've actually had to learn because especially the last couple of years, I had to learn to be really independent. Right, like I just had to kind of like grip down and do it on my own. And then over the past couple of years, I had to learn of like, all right, I also need. I may be able to do something, but it doesn't mean I should be doing it. Like I should let a guy, do something. I'm not saying I can't do it. It's just it makes men feel good when they know they can like help a woman out. Like it does.
Now, all that being said, if any listeners out there want to help pay my rent, you are more than welcome to. I will be a kept man quick.
Right.
Now that I'm fucking almost broke.
It was interesting. No, but it was interesting how she said that because I never thought of it that way, you know. And men do want like to know like they're needed.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if that's so much more of like a biological thing.
I think it's primal.
Primal. Okay.
My own theory.
All right.
Well, I think everyone wants to be needed in some capacity. It's just that men seem to. I feel like men. Generally, or more on average, I'd say not generally, on average, because there's always an average is not it's the center, not the fucking extremes. They feel the way they most feel comfortable being needed is to provide and protect and to be like I'm running the I'm the man of the house kind of bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
And women like to. I mean, they're like the door held for them, like fucking shiny objects brought to them, to prove that you can provide.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to be able to provide kids and all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just traditional roles. But like, everyone needs to be needed in some way,
Yeah.
And and that varies. Is what I think, because I don't need a woman to wait on me hand and foot, but I do need her to give me a certain level of respect in certain areas of my life that that are important to me.
Yeah.
And I think
but that doesn't make her a woman for doing that. That makes her just a person.
Or like a person in a partnership.
That's what I'm saying. We're all people like that.
Yeah.
And I think the important thing is to now that men and women have more options than ever before. That's what really happened. I feel like we didn't have options in this shit. Men were bigger, so they had to fight and hunt. Women were smaller, and they had to take care of the kids because they birthed them. And that was just it. Like back when we had sticks and stones, and barely had fire. Like that's what we were working with.
Yeah.
And now none of those problems exist. I mean, men can do whatever almost anything a woman wants to do, with the exception of give birth. And women can do pretty much anything a man wants to do, except impregnate a woman. Mm-hmm. So, and now that you have all the options to do that, it's like, well, what is important to you that makes you feel worthwhile, and you have to find a partner that delivers that. But you have to be self-aware enough to know what it is that's going to make you feel fulfilled. That's the hard part, and your own part, and then in communicating that, which is even a whole other fucking thing that haven't even begun to scratch the surface on. I'm terrible at communicating. So, despite my need to talk on a fucking microphone for hours and hours on end.
The irony of that statement, I was going to leave it. But
yeah, exactly. I know. It's a one-way street with my communication from me to you.
No left turns.
I know. Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's no yielding either. You know, it's like you just get on the highway.
Yeah, let me tell you what I think about that. You know, let me tell you like it is. It's my fucking motto. It's like it's pathetic, but
yeah, it's 95 straight down. Hey, you going to Florida? Where are you taking? What routes? No, just 95 straight. You know, it's interesting. I don't know. I just feel like well, there's so many like areas that we're covering, but yeah, when she said that about how men, you know, don't feel now like they feel as much needed, and that's why they're kind of like, oh, you know, forget this whole like women thing or whatever, all these like, you know, extra whatever men mask, whatever you want to define these men as. I don't know. I was like, oh, that's right, because I was looking at my dad, I looked at my parents, I was like, oh yeah. But I think also culturally things also have to like go into that equation too, right? People from different cultures.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Right? So like my parents, like, they're from East Africa originally, like, you know, it's not like America, right? My mom couldn't just get like a job like my dad, you know, like she had to rely on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think everyone can kind of be in the same pot.
I also think there's something called ethnic equality. Like a lot of American couples don't have it, but I see it actually in my parents, where like, you know, okay, yes, my dad's like the man, the head of the household.
Yeah.
But like, let's be serious.
Especially Greeks, man.
Well, yeah. So my dad may wear the pants in the family, but my mom tells him what pants to put on.
There you go.
You know, it's that little subtle nuances of like my dad's like, oh, you know, it's all him, but really,
right.
My mom, I think Greek women know how to subtly have things go their way or get what they want.
As women have been doing since the dawn of humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty. They have to manipulate men.
You know, he wears the pants, and she's like, "You're wearing corduroys today, Peter." He's like, "Okay, today I wear corduroys."
Well,
you know what I mean?
But I don't think it's so much like manipulation than actually being more. Well, let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish. I think it's more of just what you're more connected to do that better.
Yeah.
I think like women are just are better connecting with like kids than men are. Men don't are more emotional. They're temperamental.
Men make their moves with aggression. Women make their moves with manipulation. And because men can physically and you know sort of overwhelm people or overwhelm women. You know and you know, are bigger, are stronger, are faster, can, you know, tend to make more money because historically through time they were the ones who were doing work.
Men also can't sit with their feelings. So like if they see a woman,
and they're not built to do that.
No, if they see a woman,
I don't think men are built to sit with their feelings.
Because I can see it sometimes. My parents too. Like my mom will be like, oh, you know, this is like really, you know, she'll know exactly what to do and say. And my dad feels bad instead of just sitting with the feeling. He'll like act on it like, okay, now I have to fix this.
But that I feel like is an evolutionary trait. Like having feelings while you're hunting a dangerous animal could get you killed because you can't stop and rationalize it. You just have to act. You have to block out the fear, block out the timidity and all that, and just sort of march forward in order to survive. You know.
Yeah.
And women to survive had to deal with half the population they were living with being bigger and stronger with them, who could just bludgeon them to death.
I think
in order to do that, they have to figure out ways to twist their partner's mind. Not twist, but it's manipulation has a negative connotation, but you can manipulate things to a positive end.
Right.
Like they keep men from hurting them so they can raise a family together. Like that's a positive manipulation.
Yeah.
I think that's an evolutionary thing.
Yeah. I mean that's one.
Well, there's a theory of also they said that's why babies look cute because back in the primal ages, like no one would want to have a baby with them because they just take up food, they take up
and if they're cute, you want to crush their head, you know, because they're adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually also heard, I don't know if this is true, that
probably not.
No, probably not. But that babies when they're younger, you know, infants 0 to 1, they tend to have their features are softer but look more like the father because in a weird way he can sort of subconsciously realize that's his child, so he won't kill it like fucking gorillas or bears do, you know. I
mean, I don't know, but that
would make sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a good question, Anastasia. Where do you see? Because I want to hear a lot of like what you think. I already know how Randy thinks.
Yes, he's heard this.
Yeah, so this is
it's remedial for him.
Yeah. The way things are going now, and like you know, where do you see like the men in the future and women going in the future and how they communicate with each other?
About communication?
Mm-hmm. Given current gender roles and all that.
Do you guys know about Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't?
He speaks
a lot of people
about
don't.
yeah.
Get on him. Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, he's really good. He actually even speaks about how women unconsciously sometimes will go for men who are quote unquote more manly.
Yeah.
But as in about communication, and you have to be more specific because there's a million ways that question could go.
Yeah, I guess you referenced Jordan Peterson. I think one thing he said, like in terms of like men and women, I think he said with women, it depends on what type of partner you want to identify with.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so I guess with women, it's like, okay, you want a man, but it's like, okay, what type of man do you want? It depends on what you want. Right. So it's like, it's not always like back in the days. It was like the men were like all the men went to war. Right. So the women were at home.
Yeah.
Right. So. And then, but the roles kind of like switched.
And there was a lot less men for women, even though there's less men now. There's still slightly more women on the planet. Back then, when men were going to war and getting slaughtered, there was a lot less men, a lot more women. So it was not as big. There were two chicks for every guy. It was fucking the guys weren't starving for women. Like now the good women are fucking lean because there's so many of us.
But I also think it is becoming, at least in the U.S., it is becoming more common, or there is a trend towards men having to develop being able to communicate or having to be forced to communicate more than before, which is good. I think it will help couples in the long run.
What can the women, to women specifically, like that listen, what do you think with social media now, with everything like it is now, what do you think that they should be paying attention to?
When looking at a men's profile?
I guess in that context, sure. I mean, there's no traditional ways to meet people anymore now. It's not like how it used to be, right? Like, you would actually have to, like, back in days, you would actually, like, Randy, let's say Randy was, like, in the 70s, right? How he would have to get a girl, would take her out, go to a club, take her out to dinner. Like,
what's funny? Women, though, are complaining more and more that men don't hit on them when they're out anymore.
I'm sure.
But then on the flip side, it's like, why would a man put himself out there only to get rejected and then to get accused of, like, harassment and a lot of this Me Too movement when... Well, in reality, like, women really sometimes women just want to get hit on, but I don't think men realize that optimal in between of how to hit on women when they're out.
But I think it's a double standard.
Don't be creepy, but it is nice to get hit on when you're out.
I know, but I think it's a double standard that the social media machine and the Twitterverse fucking forces on men and women, because women bear the fucking the negative reaction to this as well. I mean, because they're not getting hit on, they're not meeting good men, they're complaining about it. It's like, I want a manly man, but then you emasculate him anytime he does anything manly. It's like, what the fuck? You're sending double, sort of mixed signals, and that's the other thing that women have it so good especially in this country, that like if they're overweight, they have fat chicks in swimsuits now in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. But
I am glad that there's
I'm glad that you're showing it. But don't get me whatever. You can show whatever you want, but don't get it twisted. Like women can't face rejection, so they have to have their fat sister in the swimsuit issue, so no woman feels left out. But men have to eat fucking L's every day if they hit on a woman. If they hit on women both in person and online. So like the amount of rejection that men face in their life, I feel like is like 5 times as much as a woman in terms of direct someone telling you no, beat it. Like women, how many fucking times do women hear no in a day as compared to a man?
Is this about you? Like, is this
no? Because I feel like men are getting a bad rap. It's like, oh, this guy's hitting on me. It's like, yeah, that's what men traditionally do, and you say no, and it hurts his feelings, and they have to live with that. How many times are you getting rejected to your face?
But how many times?
Women don't take L's to the face the way men do. It just doesn't happen.
How many times when women do say no, and then the men keep going and fucking doing it?
Well, see, that's where the line is.
Well, that's rapey. That's sex. I mean, like, no means no. You move on to the next girl. Like,
no, but I'm gonna extend that too as well. So when she says no, the woman says no, I'm not interested or whatever. But also, a lot of women are actually not very direct on saying no as well. They like to
make signals. They like the interest. They like the interest, but they don't want they want your arm's length.
Yeah,
they want a puppy. They don't want a fucking person.
Randy.
All right. Randy's really fired up right now.
Yeah, I'm getting hot.
Just let me get my word out. So when the woman says no and the guy keeps on doing it, right? Now it's like it's like this hard to catch thing too. Like I've seen this before. Like initially a woman will say no, but then the guy is very persistent. Now some women are like, oh, I like it. He's got to be persistent too. So where's the line? That's not creepy. That's just a man being a man, and he has like these particular characteristics. Like he wants to catch the girl. He wants to like go after the girl.
Sometimes the men, I think, are too focused on the catch than the actual woman, and that's where things get foggy. Because some men will go out there and they're just for the competition and they're just on the prowl. They are not even registering what the other person is saying or like their body language or even their tone of things. They just want the win, right? So they're just going for it full throttle. And if finally the woman gets aggressive enough and saying no, it's funny, you can see that they just move on to the next person, like directly next to them.
But that's healthy. I mean, at least they took the no and moved.
But instead of...
Is that wrong?
No, but there are some men that are more into the competition and the hunting than the actual person.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
because then it's more
as long as they take no for the answer. What's wrong with that? No, they don't. But sometimes
they don't take no for that. That's what I'm saying. They're more for the hunt than for the actual person. So they're just wanting to get them just to say that they got them, not because of.
Again, I still don't know what's wrong with that.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, as long as they're not intimidating the girl. But that's or any of the girls are hitting on. They can hit on every girl.
Some guys will almost intimidate because they're too focused on just winning than the actual person.
Okay, so they won't take no. They keep pressing the issue.
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, if you move on and do that to a lot of women, I don't see the problem with that. It's like slut shaming men. It's like if we want to fuck around, we can fuck around.
No, I'm not saying that, but it's just more of like you can tell them it's just for the
that's intimidating
for the kill
people.
than for the actual person.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's easy. I think it's pretty. What I can't believe is that the common sense hasn't like hit the general public yet on when you are or aren't me tooing somebody. It's basically bullying them. If you're bullying a woman into trying to have a sexual experience with you, you're out of line. But if you're being polite and asking, and she says no, and she rebuffs you a couple times, and you walk away, that's not a fucking Me Too moment.
No, that's not.
That's just an embarrassing. It's an embarrassing moment for the guy, and an awkward moment for the woman who had to reject someone because it doesn't feel good to reject someone either.
No, That's what I'm saying. But I think also society doesn't like to sit with bad feelings.
Oh, of course not. No
one
likes
just want to like act on it. Either they're like the victim, or I don't know.
Yeah. I was victimized. You're an asshole. Like there's always like you try to slap that label on somebody. Like you fucked up, and I was the victim.
Yeah,
it's too quick to do that. It's like, oh, that was just a weird moment. Like there was nothing wrong. Just that sucked. That was awkward. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Like men and women. Like
it's Chase's favorite topic. It's my favorite topic.
It's because we want what we say we want, but then it's like
all our actions.
No one ever really wants what they say they want.
No one ever does. You're right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the things that I love to enjoy is that when there's a girl that if I initially asked her out and she says no to me, she rejects me, and then she goes and goes out with a guy that's totally not what she should be going out with. Like this guy is a total asshole, right? I love when the breakup happens. Like I like when if a guy like cheats on her, I'm like good.
Well, it's like a vindication for you.
Revenge, yeah.
Because a little revenge porn for Chase. That's what he likes.
Yeah, because I'm just like, oh, you don't even, okay, so you said no to me. That's fine. I'll be okay. Not really, but I'll be fine.
That's exactly what I said. No one ever says what they really mean. Like, I'll be okay. Not really.
but I love when I find when I see these relationships like end up like not anymore, and I'm just like. And I see, and they put the reason why the woman or the guy.
Oh God, I love to hate that. I'm the person that's like, this is horrible. I can't put this up online as I'm scrolling through and reading every single detail.
Right, and I'm just like, listen. I don't think I'm not the person to ask about like relationships. I don't know, but I want to learn and I want to understand how. Like, when I look at a successful relationship, what's the model that we should be looking at? Right? Like, do we look at our parents? Do we look at?
Nope.
Do we look at?
Traditionally, you should look at your parents.
Yeah, I mean, not
I think I'm lucky enough that I had.
Yeah, you got a pretty good. But then you got a fucked up situation yourself. So
yeah.
I mean, not having a good upbringing doesn't prevent you from a fucked up situation.
No, it doesn't prevent you from life.
Yeah, I mean, shit happens.
But again, like, where can people? Go towards if they don't have, let's say, like a good like family foundation to see like.
How do you fix yourself?
How do you fix yourself? How do you try to take the steps to fix yourself into the right positive way if your surroundings are not
I think
like
that's where therapy comes into place and learning how to have self-awareness of what your needs are.
And this is where we plug Anastasia's work business.
Yeah, and this is where you can find me on Beacon Street.
There you go. Exactly.
Right. Because if you have, let's say if you're a type of person that like necessarily didn't come from a great family situation or traditional family situation, but you really want to have a family. I'm not saying everybody wants a family. There's a lot of people that don't want a family. If your friends don't have successful relationships, if your own family hasn't had a successful, like, where can you go to see that?
Also, I think unconsciously, you'd also probably would attract a partner who does have a good family. You know what I mean? Also, you're unconsciously are attracting a partner for better or for worse,
so
right?
You're saying this if you haven't seen that or haven't.
I'm not saying that it's not like a lost cause by any means.
So you're saying you should try to seek a partner that comes from that.
Yeah. Or also see a therapist too as well on top of it, so you're not just
compounding the problem.
Well, I think everyone should know their blind spots. Like, why not? Everyone has blind spots in their lives. Why not know what your blind spots are? So that way it doesn't get brought into the relationship and get played out. Because there's also a lot of like self-fulfilling prophecies, of like, I don't want to have a broken home. My parents had a broken home. I don't want a broken home. You keep saying that enough, you're going to end up having a broken home. You
dwell on it.
You dwell on it, but you also don't do anything about it to not have it.
Yeah, because what I've tended to see is like some people that I know who didn't come from great family situations. They kind of don't really. They don't want it. Like, they try to ignore, they don't want to, like, really... They either, get in really good relationships, or they don't get in relationships at all.
Yeah.
It's never, like, you know what I mean?
It's never anywhere in the middle.
It's never in the middle,
Well, I think that's why there's so many commitment issues also nowadays, too. It's because people are afraid of intimacy just because of things that either hasn't been worked out from childhood, or just seeing, their parents' dynamic, and they're just too scared to go down that avenue. And then also social media with temptation. I think there's a lot of factors for that nowadays. You
think temptation is making it harder?
I think men are having a harder time rationalizing why settle down. They're like, well, it's going to cost me money. I have all these options. And women also have not helped
But those
either.
are fair. I mean, those are fair. Those are fair
but also,
points.
Think about this. Now I have to let me get my whole idea out.
Yeah. I want you to speak it into the mic so the whole world can hear it.
Yeah. If all the women together combined and said, you know what, fuck this. We're not going to go on Tinder anymore. We're not going to have like casual random sex. We're only going to have sex with people that we're in relationships with. And all the women decide to do this. What option would men left to have?
They'd have affairs with all these women that are in relationships.
I would have to start fucking Randy.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I am also saying I think some women nowadays have also, they haven't helped the cause.
Thanks, feminism.
Well, not in the sense of like
I want her to say this.
Raising the expectations.
Say that again?
Women need to raise expectations all across the board. Like, all of them have to do it. Because if men can find, hate to say it, like, one of my friends once told me, he was like, a blowjob doesn't have a face. You know what I mean? Like, if you could find a woman, and men sometimes will go for any woman. They don't even care.
You know what I'm hearing from this? What? I'm hearing from this, and I agree. It's like if women stopped being garbage people, they wouldn't get garbage men.
I'm not saying all garbage. No, I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying. But like if women are trash and accept trash, they will get trash.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a fair assessment. Like, if you're a high-quality woman, you're getting a high-quality man. But if you're fucking around, showing your ass on Instagram and hoeing it up, what chance do you have of finding a good man?
Well, there's a lot of women out there who have still found good men because...
Oh, yeah, of course, because they trapped them. But whatever.
I'm saying, in general, I think because a lot of men now are trying to find a reason why commit. And when sex is such an easy option, and before sex, you could only have sex in marriage. That was like, the 1950s, like, stereotype. Men were more likely to commit for that, where now it's like, well, why have a kid? It's going to cost a lot of money. I can have sex all I want off this app. I don't have to make any effort.
Yeah.
I'm going
to get a lot of hate mail, I feel like, pretty soon.
That's all right. I mean, I'm still going to fucking make bad decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, this might help on the margin, but I'm joking.
Chase.
It's also not to say either, like, I've also been at that spot too before in my life, where I haven't really helped that cause.
Everybody's had a fucking run.
But I think, now being more reflective, looking back at things, it's like, that probably didn't help me in the long run.
I don't think, this is my personal opinion, I don't think you can totally be yourself if you want to be in a relationship. And what I mean by
you can't.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is there's a certain level of compromise that you're always going to have to do in order to, when you have someone else involved. You know what I mean? So I've never seen a successful relationship where I can say, well, wow, this person is always the same all the time, and she or he is putting up with it out of love.
Yeah.
It's usually, I like him, or I like him, or I like her because she's the way she is, and I just putting up with it because I like him so much. You know what I mean?
That's kind of sad.
No, but I think that's actually better than the alternative.
I think it's better than alternative
than changing yourself. Like, it's like I'd rather say, hey, look, I love this person. I love 89% of what they do, but 11% of what they do is I don't love, but I can put up with it. But I'm not going to ask them to change that.
Well, yeah, that's
though I think is what you got to find. Like,
yeah.
Like, because then you could be yourself, and they'll put up with the 10% that other people wouldn't. What I don't like is when you go in a relationship and someone like, I like 90%, but that other 10%, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna change that. No. Fuck. Like, if you can't deal with it, if you can't deal with that 10%, then don't get into a relationship, because maybe you will be able to compromise and work it out and get closer to change some of those habits. But if you go in like assuming that's what it's going to be, I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure.
Oh yeah, you have to go and accept the full package.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes,
yeah,
that's a healthy way to go into it.
And again, I'm sorry, not quick. And I think it depends on exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, whatever
needs to be changed.
Issues. Yeah, whatever issues are.
Yeah, if a guy's hitting a friggin' girl, I don't think she should.
Well, of course not.
No, but we have to identify these things.
You're right. Yeah,
because people take things out of context.
That's right.
You know, especially this now. Yeah. So we have to specifically state what we mean, and like
normal human boundaries.
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know if you're going to comment on that part.
It's all right.
Just not compromising exactly 100% of who you are. I think you do to a degree if someone's going to live with you and someone's going to.
Yeah, but there's also growth too. You want someone to also bring out the best in you, and but also not for nothing. People have to go in and know that they also have their own shit too. I think sometimes couples go in and there's always that one person thinking that they have no shit that the other person has to put up with.
Oh yeah,
and they both have to know that all right, I got my shit and you got your shit.
There has to be a little bit of mutual desire to work on some of that stuff. Yeah.
And I think that's where the growth comes in, too, of growing together versus growing separately. Well,
that's how you grow apart. When you start growing separately, you start to grow apart.
Well, yeah, that's exactly
kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anastasia.
Yeah.
We're already over an hour, guys. Do you want to... I actually want to spend the last few minutes, Chase, do a little couples therapy.
Oh,
So, now that what do we, Chase, fucking 5 years into this relationship?
You can leave the room.
2 years into the podcast?
Fine. I don't know we don't need anything.
No, I know. Is there anything we need to work out that we need to work out between each other before we lose our free hour with the therapist? Because she charges fucking a lot for an hour, my friend.
This is okay.
Is there anything we need to work out amongst each other? Yeah, let's do it.
Amongst with ourselves or with
between us or with yourself? If you got anything get it out.
Nah, I'm not gonna set a podcast. That's something privately
about yourself or between us.
Between us, yeah.
What did I do?
In general. Like in anything, if I had an issue, I'm not gonna outside privately.
But is there anything you're concerned about in terms of our relationship moving? What's going to go with the podcast? How's your life going? Anything like that? Separation anxiety. Are you going to miss me? That kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Two things.
Yeah.
All right. I'll start with me, right? One thing is I've noticed with me is I have a bad I have a hard time forgiving people.
Mm-hmm. You were talking about that last time.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I still have that problem.
Yeah.
So I'm consistent in that pattern.
Yeah. Character prevails.
So maybe I'm doing fine, actually.
Yeah.
So, but what tends to happen is I'll use that as anger, instead of using it towards instead of just using it in a positive direction. You know what I mean? Do you
feel like you can't trust Randy anymore now that he's leaving you? Have you become more suspicious of him?
No.
Okay, good.
No. I'd say this is just like purely for me. Like,
okay.
just my, like
it's personal thing.
Yeah,
Too.
my personal thing. Yeah. Yeah, trust. Trust is like. Listen, people is gonna have to be their own person, man. You know what I mean? They're gonna have to they have to find their own way at some point. You know what I mean? Like, so, but with well, I was talking with Randy with the move to LA. Like, you know, it makes more sense like for him to do that because he has like friends there. You know, like he has more like people that he knows there and stuff like that. And I think sometimes you have to kind of like not know not know where you're going in order to grow, you know?
Yeah.
So, I'm not in that sense, I'm not really like worried about that. One thing I do kind of worry about a little bit, is the world that he is getting involved in is a different world that he was used to. You know what I mean? And once you start like evolving, it gets scary. You know what I mean? Like you start seeing people change.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think he's gonna change?
Yeah. I think he's gonna change.
You know what's funny?
I don't know, but I don't think he knows that he is. I think sometimes what he does, like it's not so much for bad, but it's just like when you do stand up and you start traveling, and at some point, what's gonna happen is like there's an alone process that's gonna happen. That's like. And it's scary because sometimes people like use it like it's I don't even know, it's depressed. Like, you know what I mean? Like you'll start seeing like, oh shit, maybe all the people that was around me before, they're not around anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're not like.
Well, you know what's funny? Before you came over, we were talking, and I go to Randy. I was like, Randy, you promise when you move we're still gonna be friends, right? And he's like, yeah. What are you talking about? So I think there's something. Their anxiety if someone's going to change, I think that is true.
I'm not
because even I was picking up on it before you even came in. I was just like, "Are we still going to be friends, Randy, when you leave to LA?"
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about more like.
But in the sense of is someone going to still be that person that you know?
Right. Yeah, and also like the world of this business is like, I think he's gonna have if any person that I know is tough enough to like deal with like the stupid shit about this business is Randy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's seen like so much shit before. You know? Yeah. He's like he could recognize like, oh, this is fucking stupid. Like I don't need to be paying attention to this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm more concerned of like, you know, the elevation of like how he's gonna grow his self-awareness. You know what I mean?
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's like oh, okay, it's like because he doesn't like really ask questions. Like he doesn't really like he just deals with it. Like he doesn't like if there's a problem, he doesn't like say I have a problem, Chase.
Well, yeah, and look, I'll be honest. That's what I told you when I got here. I completely agree with what you're saying because I would agree with that.
Like I feel like I'm not needed. Like I feel like. I don't feel like he leads on. He doesn't lean on towards like his real support system as much as he should. And maybe it's because he doesn't really. Maybe he just doesn't deal with it, or he doesn't have any problem. Like, no, well, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he's like
trying to do everything alone.
I think he's
he wants to take care of everything. Typical male.
Yeah, I got like this. Self-reliance. I got it. I don't need anybody's fucking help. I certainly have that problem, Chase. And I think a lot of my anxiety about going out there because I told Anastasia when I came, I was like, yeah, I'm fucking, I'm anxious and but I'm gonna do it. And that's the thing. Like I think. I noticed that in myself. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing out there. I'm gonna have to start from the ground up again. Without all the money and all my East Coast friends that I had out here that I won't have out there. Because I'm gonna be fucking scrapping it up. So I get anxiety about that, but I think that's why. And you told me this earlier on. That's why I was so adamant about not wanting to go to LA and preferring to go to New York because I knew it was a bigger leap for me culturally and friend wise and all that shit to go out there. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I was like, man, if I'm gonna live the kind of life that I'm trying to live, that to really fucking get to sort of soak the experience out of this fucking thing while I'm here, I gotta go out there for a little while just to see if I got what it takes, if I like it, if I can build the friend base, if I can do all the things that you're talking about, Chase. And you're right, I don't lean on my friends enough, but I also know that you guys are there, and I don't lean on you because I know when I do, I'm really gonna need you, and I don't want to call in any fucking favors until it's time until I'm really down on my luck. You know, I want to try and make it on my own kind of thing. And I know you guys will be there. I'm going to need help to get out there. You know, I'm asking for help, like buying a car. I'm talking to my brother about this, fucking Tyler about that, and Saul about the next thing, you know. So it's, you know, so there is that anxiety about it, but I think it's kind of like, all right, well, I owe it to myself to give it a shot, you know. I mean, fuck it, you know. Like I'd rather do it and fail than not have done it at all. And that's why I'm choosing out there, because if anything goes wrong in life, I always got to go back to New York, you know. So that's why it's the place of last resort for me in my mind. But what I worry about is that, you know, overcoming that anxiety and being afraid, because I am scared, like, oh, what's going to happen? Because, you know, whenever there's
fear
something,
of unknown.
Yeah, the unknown. Exactly. It's like, oh, this shit's fucking crazy. But, you know, I've done it a couple times before in my life, going into the unknown. It's like, well, I got to keep doing it now. You know, starting comedy was that. You know, leaving my fiance was that. Going to college was that. So it's like, I feel like that it's time for another one of those episodes in my life, to see if I can get to the next step, like you're talking about. But I do have that concern. I also I do have a concern that I'm going to lose touch with my friends out here, because I'm notoriously fucking bad at keeping up with my friends. You know, even when I've seen you, 3 times in the last 6 months, like, and you're fucking right here a mile and a half away, you know. So I know for me, like, that's something I'm making a distinct effort on doing. Now it's like, all right, I gotta make sure. Just text, hey, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while, you know, shoot her a buzz, or if I'm in town, or if I'm ever back east.
I'm glad we have this on record.
You know, I have to. We have this on record. I have to, because, and it's because I just want him to, like, but I know I owe it to you guys. I know it to all my friends who helped me get into this fucking business in the first place and told me to chase a stupid dream that, you know, that they talked me into. You guys helped me not rationalize my way out of my dream, because that's what I'm good at. Oh, I got 1,000 reasons why I shouldn't do this, you know? Yeah. But you guys give me one, so it's because you guys support me, you know?
And see, that's your creative side coming through.
I told all you guys I'm going. I told my mother I'm doing this. So I got to do it now. I can't if I fail, it has to be fucking years from now, because I'm not going to give up 2 years in like some fucking loser, you know, like I can't do it. Right. You know, so I owe it to you guys. So that gives me a little bit of anxiety, but that's also why I want to, it's also why I want to give it a shot, you know, because, like, the fuck did you guys, you know, have my back on this shit for the last 2.5 years for, if I don't go out there and you know, take a swing and see what happens, you know? Mm-hmm. It'd be a waste of all your time, you know? How many shows you come to? Like 4 shows in the Beacon Street locale, the worst fucking club this town had. And like, well, if you show up to that, I gotta fucking go out there. Like, that'd be stupid, you know? Like, so that's how I feel about it, you know? But that's the thing. It's like, you know, it's like, all right, well, if you're a little bit afraid, it's like fucking, you know, jumping out of a plane. It's like, all right, well, time to jump. Stop being a bitch. The plane's in the air. Yeah. I'm not gonna ride it back down like an asshole. Yeah. You know, like, I don't want to be that guy. Yeah. Stop the roller coaster. Get me off. Like, it's like, just fucking shoot the thing and hurry up.
Hold on. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not like so concerned more about like the question for me is not so much like if you're making the right decision to go there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's not like.
Are you worried he's gonna get sucked up in that?
What I'm saying is, like, I don't want him to unself-aware him out of making a career for himself. You know
to psych myself out to think I can't, kind of a thing, to like fall into the negative side of Hollywood.
What I'm saying is, I would like for you to continue to preserve the maximum amount of self-awareness for you to understand that you have. It's bigger than just you.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's like you have great skills and a personality that think yourself as much more bigger than just that.
All right. Don't get beaten down by the man.
Don't get like, you know, don't. Like,
I appreciate that, bud.
You know what I'm saying? And it always continue to be like grow to that self-awareness and like just always know like it's not just I'm just gonna go on stage and that's it and that's another stage. No, it's like, all right, I gotta impact. I gotta every time I go on stage, every time that I'm meeting people, every time like this, you're growing to like a bigger picture. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people that just be like, all right, I'm an entertainer, and this is like I'm just gonna go tell jokes and that's it, and people like it and that's it. I'm gonna go home to my life. You know what I mean? Like it's not like.
Well, some people like that. That's what some people want. I think you want it big, which is good.
Well, he wants bigger. Well,
I don't know how big. I don't know that I want to be Kevin Hart, but I do have in my mind the lifestyle that I want to build around comedy. You know, like I want to be on the road. I want to have the podcast. I want to have a voice and have an opinion, have a following. You know, like
I can see you like a Howard Stern.
I mean, that'd be great. That guy's a fucking gazillionaire.
Maybe I was thinking maybe even Randy should probably do start his own podcast that is him just being.
Oh, you mean on the soapbox?
A reality show.
Just
on the soapbox?
Yeah, just
no.
like it's like, what's that guy from Alex? What's his name? Alex. The crazy conspiracy theorist.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
Where I just rant for I go red face.
But more of in a positive, more like in a real rational,
in a less tinfoil hat kind of way. All right, yeah. I mean, that'd be great too, man. I mean, who knows? I'll be talking to myself in the car right over. I'm sure. Fucking driving myself nuts.
Yeah.
You're driving to LA?
That's the plan right now. I gotta buy the car. Why you say it like that?
I just think it's like Guantanamo Bay is to be in a car for that long.
Oh, I like being on the road. So.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I hate. I mean, driving. I'm kind of about it. It's like a means to an end, but I like cruising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, okay. Like, it's weird because like all the stuff he worries like his stuff about like moving and stuff, like the car and like all that. That's another thing about me. Like I don't worry about that shit. Like,
yeah, no, I'm paranoid.
I
get that from my father. That's a horrible fucking trait I got from him. He was always paranoid, just always worried about like everything was something's gonna happen. Worried the next shoe's gonna drop.
How does he like being so he just like stated that? How does like a person who gets that type of like reflection from their parents like that? How do they not necessarily like have that anymore? Like what to like?
Well, the fact that you recognize it is a huge step because a lot of times it takes years for people to recognize that, and only years through like actual therapy.
Yeah.
Because people won't even realize that they're doing exactly what they didn't like their parents are doing or were doing, and then how to come over it is just self-awareness, like a muscle. You have to. It takes. People don't realize it takes effort to do something new. You know, you have to really be conscious of like, okay, I know it's something that I'm usually feeling anxious about. You'll still have the feeling, but you have to consciously make the effort to do something new. Or some things too, it just gets resolved if you talk about it enough through therapy of like, you know, even trying to understand why you have that anxiety. Once you do, it depletes on itself. But there are some things that people have to consciously make an effort for, and I think that's why I have this whole gripe with like medication, because people want the quick fix.
You know, people want the Band-Aid. It like almost shuts you down from trying to make that change.
Oh yeah, it just makes you numb. It doesn't help. It just puts a Band-Aid on it, and then you just become numb, and people think numb is good. Well,
there's a lot of people I'm sure that we know that they just mask all the things. They just think like they think like they're getting better, and they think they're doing all the things to get better, but it's just a continuous hamster wheel.
Yeah, instead of just owning, like as Randy said, like, all right, my dad's really paranoid. I know I'm really paranoid, but it's like making that like, you know, he's still driving out west and doing this whole career change.
Right.
So at least he knows that about himself. He's not letting it hold himself back. But you still have to just sit with you probably sit with those feelings.
With it, yeah. It's like I'm just fucking a ball of anxiety. It's like you got to go.
You just gotta, you know, you just can't let it hold you back, which I think is the bigger thing that people don't realize. They think that they should never feel that, or they should never do X, Y, and Z.
What does it say to a person like who has that particular like characteristic about themselves, and a person like me that don't never really think about those?
What's more compulsive about it?
Because I'm less organized. Like my financial shit's all fucked. Like I'm
much more of a free spirit, if you will.
Yeah, but what is that like?
What's the opposite information? What's the opposite recommendation on that?
For someone like you?
Yeah.
So
that need structure that needs to concern.
I'm trying to find out the question.
Let me give it.
I was like, I don't know.
All right, this will be the last piece of advice because I got at 8 o'clock. My God, I want to hear Chase has to resolve his life.
Let me just get right. Let me just.
Well, ask the question more. Ask a.
Well, I gotta ask the question. No, like a grown adult instead of saying like I'm a child.
Beat around the bush.
Right. All right. A person like me who doesn't really worry about things, right? I don't have paranoia. I don't really have like depression, right? Yeah, I have issues I think about, but I don't let it settle in, and I don't fucking like. I just.
Wasn't at the beginning of the podcast you were talking about how you do your due diligence because you don't trust people?
Well, that's his brand of issue.
That's kind of a form of paranoia, but go on.
Really?
Well, think about it. It's like not trusting anyone. That's kind of paranoid.
So it's less situational anxiety. It's more interpersonal anxiety.
Yeah.
Like you're anxious about you trusting people, whereas I'm anxious about the ceiling falling on me. Like I'm gonna be out of money. I'm not gonna have a job.
You are a little bit more anxious about dynamics.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right.
There you go.
Jason's gonna have to work it out now.
No, you gotta work it out.
And now you gotta pay for the next hour.
Yeah.
Anastasia, thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Any questions for us?
No.
Of course not.
No.
Let's ask you questions. How's your personal life?
Oh, my personal life?
Yeah.
I just work a lot.
All right, we'll talk about your new boyfriend off air.
I don't have a boyfriend.
You hear that, guys?
I know. I don't have a
She's
boyfriend.
single, available, and she's taking patients. So
I'm the
kill
first
two
one.
birds with one stone, fellas.
I'll be your first client.
I know, right? Chase, I told you, Chase was over the moon about your outfit the other night at Laugh Boston.
Oh,
He loved
thank you.
it.
That's very nice.
He
What was
loved
it?
it.
What was it? Just the.
I could tell you, it was. You had the black heels, you had the tight jeans fitted, you had tucked in the t-shirt. It was white. It was sheer t-shirt because I saw a little bit of
brassiere, if you will. I don't know what it was under there, but it was some sort of fleecy.
It was good. It was good.
Chase enjoyed it thoroughly, and then he enjoyed it thoroughly the next morning too.
You guys send us an email, whatever. It's DM us at Ready Set Blow Podcast.
Ready Set Blow Podcast.
Or just DM me.
That's right, DM me.
Slide into the
Inside my DMs.
She's looking, guys. I know. Anastasia Doulamis, look her up. She's on Psychology Today. If you guys need a shrink, or if you need some, do you prescribe methadone, or you just you run a clinic?
I just run a clinic.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if you need drugs, see her too.
Yeah.
But that's it for this episode. I'm not sure exactly when it'll air, but it'll air sometime between now and July 6th.
Yep.
But that's it for this episode, guys. We love you. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks.
RSB Podcast, you fucking bitch.